Thank you, Pauline. I'd now like to take some time to talk about the different types of digital giving, particularly online and contactless giving. Firstly, let's think about online giving. This is where a donor makes a donation to your congregation through a secure web page or giving page. The donor accesses that giving page by clicking a donate button, clicking a link, or typing the web address into the internet browser address bar. To set this up, you will need to source a provider. There are many providers, and we'll touch on those in a moment. Your chosen provider will generate a donate button, which your website administrator can add to your church's website. If you don't have a website, they will provide a link to the page, which can be sent out in an email or posted on social media. It is also possible to include the web page address in printed form, such as a newsletter, for donors to simply type into their browser. Next, you need a merchant account or payment processor to accept and process the donor's payment card and transfer the donation to the congregation's bank account. Most providers will have a step-by-step guide on how to set this up. You will need to complete an application form, usually online, supply proof of ID, so a passport or driving licence, for one or more congregational trustees. Sometimes proof of their address, such as a utility bill, is also required. And you'll need to prove that the bank account you choose the donations to be deposited into actually belongs to the congregation. Usually a bank statement is sufficient for this. You may also be asked to provide a link to your website, if you have one, or a copy of your annual accounts. This is just about proving that you are who you say you are, to protect against fraud. How long this process takes to set up really depends on the provider and can range from a week or so to several weeks. Once set up, donors access the giving page by whatever means, choose the amount they wish to donate, insert their name, email address, payment card details, gift aid information if applicable, and click Donate. Once the donation goes through, they will see a thank you page, and usually a receipt will be emailed to them. Most providers can give the donor the opportunity to gift aid their donation if they are a UK taxpayer. Some providers collect the information so that the congregation can make the claim to HMRC themselves, and some actually make the claim for you, but there's often a charge for this service. It's important to remember that although gift aid can be claimed, online donations are not eligible for the gift aid small donation scheme. If you're looking for a basic standalone giving page, then usually the only fees incurred are the transaction fees. These range from around 1.3 to 6% per transaction, depending on the contract and sometimes the type of card being used by the donor. Some providers give the donor the opportunity to add the transaction fee to their donation. In most cases, the transaction fee is deducted before the donation is paid into the congregation's bank account. As I'm sure you're aware, there are numerous providers that will help you set up an online giving page. The decision on which provider to use is one for agreement by your congregation's trustees. You need to carefully consider the cost, terms and conditions, and regulatory compliance. The relevant policies are usually always listed on the provider's website, but if not, you should ask for proof of their compliance. As Pauline explained earlier, we cannot make the decision about which provider you should use, but we can suggest some to get you started. You may wish to consider the well-known names in the industry, such as Just Giving, PayPal, Virgin Money Giving, or Charities Aid Foundation. Or you might find it helpful to use a provider who has a specialist knowledge of how churches operate to make the process a little more straightforward. 3 such providers are Data Developments, Give.net, and Donor Donations. Many congregations already make use of data developments for accounting, gift aid and church management software and support. For those congregations, it makes sense to also use Data Development's online giving page, which links directly into their existing software package and gift aid claims process. Give.net is part of Stewardship.org, a Christian not-for-profit charity. They too process and reclaim gift aid on eligible donations, as well as providing reports which can be downloaded for accounting purposes. Many churches already make use of their financial support services. If you're not looking for such a package, but just a simple giving page, Donor Donations is a good solution. Their giving page can be standalone or integrated into your website, and can also give the donor the option to donate to different funds or projects set up by the congregation. If you're simply not in a position to set up an online giving page, there is a facility on the Church of Scotland website where donors can give to a specific congregation or to general church funds. Moving on now to QR codes. A quick response, or QR code, is a unique image code of small black and white squares, and is another way of accessing a secure online giving page. They work in a similar way to a barcode. Open either the camera or code reader app on your smartphone or tablet. Hold it up to the QR code and it will automatically scan the code. A message will appear asking you to tap here to go to the online page. So tap the screen and that will be you on what is called the landing page. What the donor sees next depends on the page setup, but the process is very similar to the one I described earlier for the online giving page. Just as an example, St Andrew's Parish Church in Moffat have kindly allowed us to share a picture of their landing page. As you can see, it's personalised to them, and donors have the choice of 3 set donation amounts, or they can choose their own. Now, the minister did say anyone who wished to go ahead and actually make a donation would be very welcome to do so. QR codes have become much more common recently, especially during the last year, being used for track and trace registration, ordering a coffee, paying a restaurant bill, and so much more. A QR code can be included in printed material, emails, websites, online services, social media, in fact, just about anywhere. They're extremely versatile, but the one downside is that donors do need to have a smartphone or tablet to use them. It is, however, possible to get a web link to the landing page for those who don't have a suitable device. There are some free QR code generators around, but they won't give you the data you need to track your donations, and you'll usually need to create the mobile-friendly web page yourself, so it's best to go with a provider who will do this for you. The fees tend to vary depending on whether the provider supplies publicity material to promote the code, collects gift aid information, or actually processes and claims gift aid for you. Monthly service charges range from £0 to £20 plus VAT, with transaction fees ranging from less than 1% to around 4%. If you already have an online giving page or donate button, your provider may also be able to supply a QR code. Take payments. They have developed an attractive QR code package specifically designed for Church of Scotland congregations. This includes a unique QR code, personalised landing page including the congregation's name and photo, as well as a pull-up advertising banner, donation boxes, QR stickers and posters. Gift aid information is collected from the donor where applicable for the congregation to then claim back from HMRC. This is who St Andrews and Moffat have their QR code package with. So, turning to contactless devices. A contactless device is a small terminal containing a card reader that allows donations to be made when it is tapped with a contactless debit or credit card up to the value of £45, or by using Apple or Android Pay on your smartphone or watch. Under normal circumstances, the device can either be static in one place or passed from person to person. Obviously, under current restrictions, all devices should be static to avoid contact. Like the online giving page, you need a merchant account or payment processor to accept and process the donation and transfer the money to the congregation's bank account. On average, it usually takes anything from 3 to 7 days for the money to reach the congregation's account. Monthly management fees range from £0 to around £35 plus VAT, with transaction fees ranging from less than 1% up to about 5%. Some terminals are standalone and some need to be connected by Bluetooth to a tablet or mobile phone. Different devices have different types of screen. You can see some examples on the slide. Regardless of the style, all give the donor the option to choose from a range of donation amounts. Some also allow the donor to choose their own amount. The amount options are preset by the treasurer or designated person and can be changed at any time. The terminal is usually held in a housing of some kind, and there are a wide variety on the market, ranging from small tabletop versions to large freestanding units. Which housing you choose depends on the terminal, where and how often it will be used, as well as the cost. Some devices have the option to customise the screen, while others have options for personalising the housing that the terminal sits in. The price range for these devices is huge, starting from around £30 for a basic device which needs to be connected to a tablet or mobile phone, to well over £500 for a standalone device. The cost of a unit or stand, along with any personalisation, is usually over and above this. Some of the more expensive devices can also be rented. Given the multitude of suppliers and contracts available, it can sometimes be challenging to know where to begin. And each supplier's product and pricing structure varies, making it difficult to compare like for like. We have gathered information on a few providers so that we can give congregations a starting point at least. We can't go into great detail tonight, but we're more than happy to have a discussion with anyone who would like specific information or support when looking to decide which device is right for them. At the end of last year, a number of congregations in Edinburgh Presbytery started a trial involving 2 contactless devices. Half are using a Pater device from Pay a Charity, and the other half are using a Collect 10 More device through SumUp. Unfortunately, the trial started just before we went to lockdown, so is currently on hold until church buildings open again. We obviously haven't been able to assess how effective the systems are yet, although the early indications are that both have been well received by the congregations. I thought it would be worthwhile to give you some more detail on those 2 devices. The Pay a Charity Pater device uses a roaming SIM card for connectivity, can be portable, tabletop, or built into a freestanding unit, either battery or mains powered, offers a choice of set donation amounts, and has the ability to accept donations while offline. Current pricing is around £395 plus VAT for the terminal, a monthly charge of £19.95 plus VAT, with transaction fees ranging from 2.4% to 5%. The cost of the branded housing is over and above that. Just when I'm talking about Pater devices, it's worth mentioning that Data Developments also offer a Pater contactless device, which links to their accounting and gift aid software. The Collect 10 More device uses Wi-Fi or a roaming SIM card for connectivity, has a large screen, is portable or tabletop, battery powered although can be plugged into the charger, offers a choice of donation amounts and the option for donors to choose their own amount. Also has a chip and pin facility, but can't accept donations offline. Current pricing is around £249 plus VAT for the unit, a monthly charge ranging from €0 to £15 plus VAT, with a transaction fee of 1.69%. As well as the Collect 10 More, you might be interested to know that SumUp also partners with 3 other companies, Payas, Donor Donations and Contactless Donations, to provide a range of housings for their card reader. We are currently in discussions to hopefully secure discounts for Church of Scotland congregations from some of these providers and hope to have some news on that soon. Also, just a reminder that contactless donations are eligible for the Gift Aid Small Donation Scheme. Many of the devices also collect gift aid information, and a few actually claim the gift aid for you. That's really just a whistle-stop tour of a selection of contactless devices. The best one for your congregation really depends on where, when and what you will use the device for, as well as the cost. Take, for example, a large, historic city centre church with lots of visitors and tourists under normal circumstances, and a range of events held throughout the year, such as weddings, concerts and guided tours. This kind of church might choose a PATER or GoodBox device, which can be built into a top-of-the-range large stand or freestanding unit with space for attractive publicity to be featured around the unit, making it eye-catching and prominent as people enter the building. Now let's imagine a smaller church, which may not have crowds of visitors, but might hold regular coffee mornings or lunch clubs, or provide a much-needed hall space for the community to use for a range of different purposes. This congregation might opt for a SumUp device and tabletop unit from the likes of Collect 10 or Payas, giving a low transaction rate and monthly management fee, while still offering a very satisfactory contactless giving facility. Whether it's an online donate button, a QR code or a contactless device, all usually have an online portal to see transaction details and access reports. Just before I finish, I want to mention one other way to encourage giving, and that's text giving. This enables anyone with a mobile phone to give to the congregation by texting a keyword and donation amount. The donation is added to the donor's phone bill or deducted from their credit. Keyword information can be incorporated into social media, websites, printed material and online services. Text giving doesn't usually incur any sign-up or monthly fees, but charges in the region of 5% per donation. Some companies also charge for generating the required keyword. This method of giving can allow for gift aid information to be collected. There are several providers, 2 of which are Donor and the national funding schemes Donate. I hope you can see that there are various ways to enable people to give. We would encourage you to explore these further with a view to adopting a range of options to suit your members and supporters, whether they are in the building or not. Thank you for listening, and can I remind you that you can type any questions you may have into the Q&A for discussion later. I'd now like to hand over to Ashley.